Turn is part of Citizen Science, and that's a joint initiative between the University of Cape Town and the University of Pretoria. So what briefly is Citizen Science, and what on earth is a MammalMAP, and how can you get involved? We've got her on the line. Hi, Tully.
Hi, Nancy. Nice to speak to you.
Nice to have you with us. Citizen Science, I suppose it's self-explanatory really, but what is it?
Well, essentially it's a phrase for anyone, any regular person who doesn't work professionally in science or in conservation who just wants to make a difference and collect information that helps scientific endeavours. So it's essentially everyday people who are just getting their hands dirty and getting involved in whatever way they can.
Okay, so they don't have to be qualified in any way. Does that mean that the information that they're going to give to you may be less than accurate?
No, not particularly. I mean, often with citizen science projects, they get involved, citizen scientists will get involved with scientists who can direct them with what kind of information they're looking for. So they're guided through every step of the process to ensure that whatever information they're collecting is valid. So it's not at all that just because they're amateur, their information doesn't count.
Yeah.
It counts as much as anybody else.
Yeah, they could be sort of professional hobbyists, I suppose. Which brings us on to MammalMAP, because I think this is a prime example of how people can get involved. But just explain how it works.
Well, MammalMAP is a citizen science project that's trying to map the distribution of mammals across Africa. Essentially, we're in a position now where we just don't have enough accurate information about where mammals are across the continent to effectively manage and conserve them. So we're trying to rectify that by gathering as many records as we can about where different mammal species are across the continent. And absolutely anyone can get involved with this project, which is why it's such a fantastic example of citizen scientists. Anyone of any age, any culture, any geography can get involved and can contribute in equal ways to ensuring the success of this project.
That's a big ask. So right across Africa.
Yeah, right across Africa. One thing we're doing, project it's not just citizen scientists. We're working with professional scientists as well. So you have scientists and NGOs and conservation authorities already gathering this information across Africa. MammalMAP's just offering a place to consolidate it and pool it all into one database, into one place, so that we can access it on a continental scale.
When you say MammalMAP, in a minute we're going to be talking to a photographer who's done a lot of shooting, not quite literally with a gun, but shooting around humans and interaction with animals, notably the big ones, the trophies. When you say MammalMAP, I mean, do you go as far down as little rodents? I think there are a whole lot of moles that are endangered, certainly here in South Africa. How widespread is your search?
The search is as widespread as can possibly go. So we're trying to get information about every single species of mammal, whether it's a small mammal that lives underground, or a bat that flies, or larger mammals on land, or the mammals at sea. Every record of every mammal counts.
Okay. How does it work then? I mean, if we go onto your website, will people be able to find the creatures that you are particularly looking for? And is it just about endangered mammals, or is it about all mammals?
It's about all mammals. So although endangered mammals do get a strong focus, we're wanting to conserve as many mammal species as possible. So we're trying to gather information about every kind of mammal, whether it's classified as endangered or whether it's considered a common species. And it's very easy for people to get involved. So essentially with MammalMAP, we're trying to collect photographs of mammals, which means that anyone who's ever taken a photograph of any mammal anywhere in Africa can submit that photograph to our online database, which we call the Mammal Museum. And they can find out how to do that by following the directions on our website. They just have to register as a mammal mapper. And then any photograph they take, as I say, anywhere in Africa, can then get included into our MammalMAP database.
I suppose this is assuming that people know what they're looking at. I'm just thinking that there will be people who, you look at, what do they call them, twitchers, people who are sort of bird watchers, and they got their book of Roberts and what have you, and they know what's what. But I mean, I'm looking at your piece of info here, and one of the new species that's been discovered is a grey-faced sengi, and I'm thinking I wouldn't know grey-faced sengi if it bit me. How do people know what they're really looking for or at?
Well, you don't need to know. So we have a team of experts who identify all of the records that come into MammalMAP to make sure that they're identified properly to the accurate species level. So when people submit a record, say they're taking a photograph of the grey-faced sengi, which is a really cute little rodent, they don't know what it is, they can hazard a guess and say, we think it's some sort of mole, we're not sure, but that will still get processed by our expert committee. then say, actually, it's not what you thought it was, it's this, and they'll identify it accurately.
Okay, I tell you what we're going to do, Tally. We've got Manfred Seidler on the line. He's going to tell us a little bit about the Paralympics. Would you mind just hanging on? Because what I'd like to do is just get the info. If anybody would like to sign up and become a mammal mapper, I'd like to get the info. So will you just hang 10 there?
Yes, for sure.
Super. Talking there to Dr. Tully Hoffman, and she's a project manager of MammalMAP. We'll give you the details on that in just a minute. But let's find out what's going on in London at the Paralympics, because we've got young Manfred on the line to tell us all about it. Hi, Manfred.